Hello, everyone. So today I'd like to go through what a session typically entails, a healing session with me. And I felt like I needed to do this because um, some people, I think it's confusing because of the mix of modalities that are listed on my website, and I still have to clarify it on the website. But I'll just, for now, kind of do it through this video. So, yes, I have been trained as a naturopathic doctor, but throughout all that training, I realized there was a lot missing from that system, and I needed something a little bit more holistic. And uh, they're not going to do really a training on, like, deep emotional spiritual healing. So I dived into Reiki, which is energy healing, and I also later on, after the training, it was after I was done with the naturopathic training, I also dived into hypnotherapy, past life regression, and body talk, theta healing. So these are all things that are listed on my website. Basically, to clarify, it's just trainings I've done, and I used to offer individual sessions for specific things that I do. So someone would say, "Can you do a Reiki healing on me?" And I'd say, "Sure." And I would just do Reiki. But what was happening is a lot more often I was integrating other forms of healing into that session. And really, it could no longer be called Reiki, as we all know. Uh, so it's what's happened now is the sessions have become intuitive in terms of how I choose to go through it, what modalities I throw in. There's no set schedule. So if someone thinks they're coming in for Reiki, I tell them, like, that whatever I feel I need to do is going to happen. Like, because I have to do what is in the person's best interest, what will serve them best, what will help them the most, and what I feel I'm called to do in that moment to help that person through a specific issue. Or usually it'll come up, something's a priority, and they didn't realize that was a priority. So what ends up happening is it becomes more of a spiritual therapy session, and medical intuitive healing. So it ends up being a combination of anything, really. Uh, Usually I start with a scan, an energetic scan, and this is all intuitive. These are skills I've developed through the years because of all the trainings I've done and because of whatever I'm already, I guess, tapped into. Maybe, oh, there's my cat. Whatever I'm already tapped into, in terms of my own gifts. Let's say everyone has gifts, everyone has strengths. So the combination of all the trainings and my own gifts have now allowed me to um, go deeper with people and scan their field. And everyone has a different way. Whoever does healing work, we all have different ways of doing it. So for me, it's a bit of a clairaudience, hearing, clairsentience, feeling, and clairvoyance, which is inner vision, seeing. Usually it's a mix of the three. Most of the time, I think my priority or my prime uh, psychic ability is clairvoyance, so seeing, feeling, and then hearing. I think that would be how I usually detect information. And so I'll usually pick up, like, the patient will come in, tell me what's going on, and then I'll do a scan. And usually I'll get specific areas of the body, like, for example, the throat. So there might be a symbolic image of, like, something clamping the throat. And then, sure enough, they already have a lot of throat issues, thyroid, or they have trouble swallowing things. So they're already, and they have issues with speaking their truth. And usually I'll see an age, like a number will come up in association with that. And it may be one root or the root of the cause, where it all started. So that is what starts to happen usually with the sessions. And then when we do the session, it can be a combination of kind of like a hypnotherapy type regression, going to that event, healing it. And sometimes it's just through kind of a hypnotherapy session, but sometimes there's a lot of energy work that goes in and a lot of clearing and pulling out of negative stuff and reintegrating truth and bringing in the beliefs that are actually supportive of the health of the body and removing the beliefs that have been ingrained that are not supporting the health of the body. So that'll come in. Sometimes it might not be in the first session, but in future sessions, the person's done so much clearing through the work we've done energetically and spiritually that we start doing something like body talk, which actually picks up on details that I may not actually pick up just through my scanning, but it is another form of medical intuition. So body talk will help bring together more things that we didn't detect on other sessions. Sometimes I throw it in right away. It really just depends on the person. And what happens sometimes is in the first session, a lot of shifts happen and a lot of different symptoms, like a specific pain in the body, is gone. And sometimes it doesn't come back at all. And sometimes it only returns to show the person in that moment where they're blocked. So if anger pops up and then it creates a shoulder symptom, they'll first get the shoulder symptom and they'll be like, wait, in the session I remember that was associated with some anger I didn't resolve. Oh, right, I've been angry for the last few days. And they'll notice more and more, and they'll be able to clear it on their own. The more they tune in and tap into what's actually going on, the easier it is to actually clear it. And some people will start to be able to do it on their own. I think sometimes when people come to me, it's sort of like a catalyst for your own self-healing. I'm not, I do a lot of work as well, like moving the energy, clearing stagnation, and I do quote unquote help the person heal in the session, but ultimately you are your own healer. And if you learn how to do it, what you can do on yourself, it's even more empowering, right? So usually the session will end with a lot of stuff that's been shifted and cleared. The person usually feels a couple things: a little bit lighter, or relaxed, or tired, like they need to sleep, which is completely normal because when you do a healing session, you need to sleep to integrate all that healing. And so that's pretty normal. In the session, I might sometimes prescribe things. It really depends. I don't normally prescribe right away in the first session. We see what clears with the healing and the spiritual therapy and the medical intuitive work. Sometimes it's after 3 or 4 sessions that, okay, now we can start integrating a supplement or a herb that'll could be used as a tool to help the body heal even more. Prescribing right away has not been my trend lately because the healing that can happen without any prescriptions, it needs to be given a chance, and it can be quite significant. And that's how you know what's working. Because if you do everything at once, it's hard to tell, well, was it the supplement or was it the healing we did? It could be a bit of both, but you don't really know. It's nice. It is kind of nice to know what's actually happening. And you know what? Sometimes we don't need to know. If you're getting better, great. So if I give you supplement or herb and you're doing the work with me and you're feeling better, and it doesn't actually matter if we know or not, but it is nice to see what's doing what, just for the sake of future. When you want to do some healing, do I take that herb or do I do this? What's going to work for me, right? So that is a kind of a little bit of an intro into how the sessions work, and the number of sessions. Really, honestly, at the beginning, sometimes people will come in several times in the first month, like once a week or once every other week. And then as they get better and more self-empowered, the appointments spread out. Could be every other month or every 3 months I see them. And I can't give like, this is how many sessions you need because we're always changing, right? Healing is not linear. You might be clear on that thing and then suddenly this other thing pops up that you was buried deeper because it's like layers, right? And that thing will come up and then you got to work on that. And that might be a month later. So there's really no timeline on this. And healing is a life journey. So people who are here to help others heal, like, we're all meant to help each other. And I am no better than anyone else. I am just here to serve and help you heal yourself. That's all it is. It's up to you if you're ready for that, though, because I'm not here to fix anyone. I'm here to show you how you can become more empowered and more elevated in your consciousness and healthier in your overall well-being, your mind, body, spirit. So I think that's all I'm going to say for now. I'm going to break down probably some of the modalities I do use in other videos just to kind of make it clear, because not every therapist that does hypnotherapy does it the same way, and not every person who does Reiki does it the same way. And I might just break those down just to show you how my version of that comes through, so you get to understand more and more what this is all about and how it gets kind of put into place and integrated into the session. Okay, so thanks for joining me again. I will see you soon.